let us talk a little bit about 5D mystic enlightenment functional adult stuff. So today we had a short where I got to share with you all, and remember, woo-woo pseudoscience lady, for those who do not experience, perceive, or understand mysticism and they don't believe in it, that's a-okay, like people who don't believe in Reiki, or it's a-okay that those who are on another extreme end, they call us demons and devils, and yoga brings out all this stuff and people believe it. So those same people believe a lot of things. In fact, actually, on that note, today I found out from a good physics educator person that our astrophysicist found out that there's like this ring in the sky somewhere, like far, far away. What I was surprised at as an academic, because see, I have a master's, so I do know how qualitative and quantitative research is conducted due to the fact that I actually was preparing in my course on research and analysis to write a huge thesis for my master's. So I know everything there is to know about how it works to build data, which is why I'm like, wow, the FBI ex-agent said 1% of people are all the rich people. Let me go and follow the mass media. And so here is where, when you're grown up inside, that's because you are a quantumist. It's called, I know my likes and dislikes. And I don't have a trust break with humanity because I don't live in pseudo-aliveness, because I don't have a hyper-vigilant, unresolved, 3-year-old trauma state, because the reality is anybody who's acting like a teenager, that's at least the word I use. I get it that they could use good therapists, but as pointed out by our good therapist, there are people who choose that misalignment life with a shame cycle, the inner critic, outer critic, with the compulsive activities of drugs and sex and food and alcohol and whatever it is that becomes compulsive. See, it's only once you realize it's compulsive and you notice this because your inner well-being and your outer well-being becomes something important to you. So it's only if you're awakened to your whole self and you don't cry about it being a struggle, but you say, wow, there's good therapists out there, I have answers. Okay, so those who need to be cheered on, they have the Magic Wand 4D, 3D collective. They have the 4D mystics to tell them all about how they can get to some place, how to eat right, how to sleep right. I think always when I see this, I'm like, how many people need a parent? Oh, I forgot. Wait, I should seriously remember, not everybody gets that at home. That's the point. Let's read for a minute. Patrick Tiahan, I love his shorts. So he is sharing about toxic family, toxic parent, because he's a therapist and helps people who want to get out of their childhood trauma. And they understand that their family was traumatized too. So they're not pointing a finger and saying, I'm going to cancel my family immediately. Oh, the astrophysicist thing before I forget. I always laugh, not only as a mystic and an academic, at people who are academic who seem to not yet be aware that they won't know everything. And I mean laugh inside, like an intelligent, emotionally and mentally person. Because as an adult inside, I'm thinking, why are you still an adaptive child trying to prove? Oh, that's right, you're only using your left mode. And your right mode maturity is not there yet. So you're making sure you have value for the herd, or unconsciously you're driven, because if I don't have meaning in my life, which is actually the human condition, when you go and learn about the existentialist or the existential psychologist or any person who says, yeah, Maria, people need meaning. Because otherwise, and I'm like, wait, but that's that is the bonding and the certainty driver. That's right. We have also the agency, self-agency bond driver, excuse me. So you're a human being, embodied brain. If you learn about attachment theory and researchers and everything, that is how you're made as a human. So Enlightenment, the human way, is way more awesome. And I get to explain it. Like mysticism, I can understand it and explain it. Let me do that for a minute, wait. Because neuroscience can explain it too. So my left and right mode, they work together. It's called integration of the brain. All of my hands are on deck because my corpus callosum and my hippocampus, my prefrontal cortex, and my connectomes, the interconnected connectomes that work for integration, they're all optimized. That's because when I get upset, I got taught how the world doesn't revolve around me. So I got held though with equanimity. So I was determined, thanks to the fetus of my mother, and then my primary caregiver, and I have a twin. So remember, I do have that. We want to take that into account because I had another human body that I got to cuddle up with, which actually does activate your ventral vagal nervous system because she's my age as a twin. And so we got to, cozy up together and be safe, which is probably why I love all of human beings unconditionally. And Jesus in my back pocket, yes, I actually promised to him and the God that I learned about since I was held with equanimity is the same type of, I want compersion for you. Like for polyamory people, we have joy that you're happy with your other partner and partners because we have healthy self-worth. Because I'm not actually working for love because I didn't have to when I was a child. I got accepted exactly as I am with my look, flaws and imperfections. I'm short, I have scoliosis, I have a temper, I'm bossy. You could, I can list all of the things that as I grew up, my mother got to put up with and my twin and that I got to put up with. So that's what happens when you have healthy self-worth and a whole 3-year-old heart. It's, I am worthy just the way I am because I'm not going to work for love. In fact, I don't think I'm going to hold you on to a chain, twin flame, or flames, or soulmates, or any of my oversoul and call you names such as, oh, you're a false twin flame, you're a karmic, or, go to people who are doing tarot readings and just giving guidance to people who want guidance and say things like this. I love when I see a teenager online actually as if these people's words mean the truth and nothing but the truth. I guess you want to prove that you know what's true, which means you're an adaptive child. Back to the astrophysicists, they're not trying to prove they're right. Of course, they have a theory. I'm surprised that they are still surprised that some of their theories get disproven. Like I'm surprised when the spirituality people don't want to understand that no, yoga doesn't bring out a demon or devil from you. No, when you do have nightmares, you don't get possessed, but there are a lot of other aspects that neuroscientists and good attachment therapists can explain to you. I actually know, and I'm not even an official one. I'm just attachment and trauma informed. But thank you, Daniel Siegel, because the recent course on disorganized attachment and dissociative identity disorder helped me know when I watched the docu, whatever it was, which was dramatizing the demon that possessed this poor human being, which was not a demon. They were just having their alters from dissociative identity disorder come up because their window of tolerance was up the roof and the household tied the poor human being down, re-traumatizing them, continuing to not do the right things. But back then, they didn't have all the updated information. In fact, I think it was in the 1990s that they would still say, if you don't hit your child with a pan, it's okay. Anything else goes. So, unresolved trauma. Yes, let's go back to. So the twin flame thing, I love when people are saying, the story about the falling twin flame, which was a karmic, everyone's calling my ex, is not being told right. I guess people will have to wait for my book to know the real truth. And here's an adaptive child. I'm like, wow, that's so cute. I can't wait for the book to be out, but I definitely know I won't be buying it because every person's twin flame or flame story is going to be different. And if you're an inner adult, that means you know who you love in your life because you're a conscious lover, not one that's falling asleep or reactive on it, basically. So you're not a person who doesn't have healthy self-worth, which is why rejection is not protection. And there's not stages for people who are, encountering, which is why we move beyond the concept of the one. And in the polyamory community with secure attachment, it's pretty awesome because we know direct communication, which is here's who I am. Oh, you don't have to like me. I'm letting you know this is who I am. I'm already worthy. You don't, well, cool. I might be upset about it. I'll let you know that I'm upset about it. I'll get over it because my heart's a muscle and I have my safe haven, secure base. I know how to regulate my nervous system, integration of the brain. I was determined with secure attachment. So the short from today, when you know how to just love, it's because your healthy self-worth says, I'm not superior and inferior to you. You can break up with me. I'm going to be sad about it. It's called I have emotions. That's all. I'm not actually used to being told that I should see. I don't have shame or defectiveness because you don't want to be a part of my hurt. I got it. I have thoughts and feelings that are different. And sometimes you might not like them so much that you'll really insult me and tell me I'm, a lot of names. And I will learn, because you grow up, to say, wow, that's an interesting one. Can you tell me more about what you really don't like about me? Because I'm actually really curious. That's flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brains, integration. And that's because I'm curious, open, aware, and loving. And when you get nasty, I'm like, wow, they're really stressed. What pissed you off? So I might not do it again. Okay, so the toxic parent seeks rescue from other family members when a survivor tells the truth about the abuse or goes no contact. Ownership or reflection on what their adult child expresses or experienced will never be considered. It's only and always about their self-preservation. And that's because the parent who's toxic, who doesn't get good therapy, is not going to become an adult. So the inner child, though, who is becoming an adult with good therapy, is going to be like, I'm sorry, at this point, I will have to say goodbye until I can maybe talk to you and you become an adult and I become an adult. And that's unconditional love, because when you have healthy self-worth, nobody's a piece of shit or a devil or anything like that. They just have unresolved trauma, which has them behave like teenagers, is what I say. But tune in for more in the meantime.